Excitement continues to build up ahead of the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup, with Banyana Banyana in the final phase of their preparations. Confirming her readiness for the global showpiece, coach Desiree Ellis announced the final 23 players plus 3 reserves that will represent South Africa at the Australia and New Zealand-based tournament. Banyana Banyana are placed in Group G alongside Sweden, Argentina and Italy. Now to reflect on the squad depth, former Banyana Banyana coach Fran Hilton-Smith joins us now. Fran, appreciate your time this afternoon. Let's take a look at that squad. Obviously, second time out to the World Cup, exciting times, but a number of players regrettably did not make it.
Well, I think it's a very difficult decision, as the coach said, but certainly I believe the team has the depth, many players that attended the previous World Cup, many players that have been to 2 under-17, WAFCON winners. So you could see in the squad last night, they look confident, and I'm really confident that this time the nerves will not be as in France, and the team can hopefully really get stuck in and make the country proud.
Now, obviously, the issue around balance is always topical, balance, experience versus the younger players. Now, these are the African champions that are going to this World Cup. So, does that experience and the balance, is that something that's clear in the side that Coach Desiree Ellis has picked?
Yeah, absolutely. I think 13 of the players come from a high-performance center. I started 21 years ago. And you can see that long-term player development is why this team has qualified for the second World Cup, 2 Olympics, the African champions. It's been a long process by many people in getting this team where they are now. It's not incidental. And I think there is the depth, there is the experience for the team to go to this World Cup much more prepared than the last one, when it's the biggest stage in the world. I haven't missed the World Cup. And it's something that you have to experience, and the girls have done that now, and I think they'll be ready for this one.
Now, Banyana Banyana are drawn in Group G, and they're playing alongside Sweden, Argentina and Italy. I don't imagine, by any stretch of the imagination, if you will, that any group at the World Cup is going to be an easy group.
No, there's no easy group at the World Cup. It's very tough. And, of course, Africa has their 4 representatives, but Africa has struggled. Nigeria, our sole competitor since '91, in the beginning has struggled because European teams compete far more often, whereas African teams, there's not much competition in CAF. Every 2 years, every 4 years, a World Cup qualifier. Now at least the club champs. So it's hard to catch Europe, but with all our players in the main playing in Europe, this has been a dream come true and will make a huge difference, because you have to compete, and many of the players in this team are playing now professional in top clubs, and I think that's going to make a big difference.
Fran Hilton-Smith was at the announcement last night, and he spoke to Desiree Ellis. I'm going to throw to a clip that we picked up of what she had to say, and then we'll come back to it in a moment.
Okay. It was very emotional for me. You know, there's this young player that has this dream of going to the World Cup, and now the dream is no longer happening. But I tried to be as encouraging as possible and as positive as possible as well. I'm encouraging them that, you know, they must make sure that when it happens next time that they're not sitting here. It was fantastic, the efforts that was put in, but I could only select 23, and that was so difficult for me. I left it until the very last minute because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I select the right players for what we're going to do. And it's unfortunate, you know, that I had to release the players that I released, but it was emotional. I don't think I slept the evening, just thinking about everything and how difficult it was.
Now, some of the stuff that she talks about speaks to mental health, the mental well-being of the players, because you've been in camp for several weeks amongst those 36 that were the initial number that were chosen, and it's going to be very, very difficult not to get picked or think, you know, about the future. But what we do know about this South African team is that it's not just about the players and the coaches, but there's also mental wellness psychologists that have been roped in.
Certainly, I think times have changed since I was a coach or a manager. We now have almost a 20-man team or woman team behind the team, from a manager down to a kit manager. And all these people play a crucial role. And having mental toughness, having a psychologist, a mental coach is very, very important and part of modern football, as is video analysis, sports science. And I think the team has been privy to all of that, and that's going to make a big difference at the World Cup.
So, Fran, we've got all these expectations based on the preparation, and again, a little bit of pressure, if you will, because we are the African champions. What can we expect from this side? I mean, when they're sitting down, when Desiree Ellis and her team are sitting down with the captain, with the girls, and they're plotting how they would like to perform in Australia and New Zealand, what do you think those targets would be?
Well, certainly to get out the group stage, that has to be the target. And in France, I was there. We had some unfortunate incidents that on another day wouldn't happen, and we could have probably progressed. And that's the vision, I think, the dream of the country, the players, the coaches, the staff, is to get through to the next round. And then it's anybody's game. You know, the ball's round. Anything can happen, so we certainly, the country is behind the team, and we hope that they can progress and do well and make the country proud, and they have the players to do it.
Fran, I appreciate your time, and certainly we'll be speaking to you again in the next few months, obviously, as the players are preparing for the World Cup.